Okay. So,
Love it.
we get, that last scene that we see of you know, the four of you chatting it up with Manon. Um, that scene ends, on a bright note. And then we cut to a black interstitial screen, and then the text on screen says Wednesday, 1:45 p.m. We cut to a shot framing Fang and Polygraph from the back. We hear like the jingle of a like a door opening and like a bell going off. And we see the two of you enter Ken's. Looking kind of like all around, the camera sees, a very classic, black and white checkerboard tiled floor. There is like, there's a bar. Ken's is sort of like, it looks exactly like, what's the name of the bar from Riverdale? Sorry, not the bar, the diner from Riverdale.
Chocolate shop.
Wait, what? I missed that.
Pop's chocolate shop.
Pop's chocolate shop. It
And
looks like
chocolate spelled CHOCK''LIT.
nice chocolate. Um, it looks, it's that very similar, Pops is sort of in my head, like, the platonic ideal of a diner. It's just sort of like an oblong, single room. You walk in through the door, immediately in front of you, there's a long, sort of like soda counter. The place, even by 2097 standards, is very much what we in 2022 would consider like a retro throwback, like 1950s style diner.
It was like a silver bullet train, just
Exactly, yeah.
one big, yeah.
Yeah. The only slight difference is that we immediately see from the interior that Ken's has kind of like like a 1950s Okinawa kind of vibe to the interior. Lots of bare wood. There's a one of those there's like tiki, like, style,
Is this
embellishments
pre or
everywhere.
post the Nazi Association?
With what?
Tiki torches.
Oh,
Remember
pre.
Okay. He'll never live that down in my heart.
Yeah.
Not their fault, but
Why can't
Um,
he be fun anymore, man?
we gotta we gotta get tiki torches
We can
back.
we'll take Tiki Torches back soon. Don't worry.
gotta take it back.
I think they're fun. Um, right, so it's kind of like 1950s, kind of like Okinawa, Pacific Ocean type vibes. All along the back counter, no, though, there's very there's still this sort of like classic cyberpunk.
Cyber bungalow.
Cyberpunk embellishments, very like big, thin, like TV screens behind, some sort of like neon lights. It's very bright as the two of you, Fang and Polygraph, walk in. Like I said, it's sort of framed from the back. The two of you, as you walk into Ken's, back behind the bar, there's a young man behind the bar. He's like average height, average build. He's maybe a little bit actually no, he's quite short. He's behind the bar. He's sort of he's a young Asian man. He's maybe like in his like early to mid 20s. He's dressed like in very classic like soda jerk attire. Except both of his hands are sort of like cybernetic, augmented hands. He's just sort of like busy polishing something, polishing like a glass. It's 1:45, so the place is moderately busy. He's busy cleaning a glass. There's some people sat down at the bar. There's quite a few people in booths, mostly tourists to the island, richer families from the mainland. you know, some kind of like older looking corporate types, quite a lot of old people mostly, sort of as a quick glance around the room. The man behind the counter, he looks up at the two of you, gives you like a very quick smile, you know, just sort of like a courtesy like look, and then goes back to polishing the glass. What do you do?
Do we see anybody who looks like they might be the guy?
Ask the bartender. It's like,
quick-
hey, anybody get here at 1:30?
I was literally thinking that. I was thinking that, like, hey, did anyone walk in exactly at 1:30?
If it's a person you're meeting at 1:30, they probably got here right around then.
Sure. I mean, if
To
Do you,
narrow it down.
do you go back behind the bar and ask him that? Or not, sorry, not back behind the bar, but up to the soda counter and ask him. Go back behind the
like
bar.
all
Hey.
social norms. Just climb over, stand by him, and say, "Hey, sir, did somebody get here at 1:30?"
Yeah, sure. Shall we? Roll up.
yeah.
Okay.
Do you quick question, do you guys know that you're like late?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Do you particularly care?
Yes, but not outwardly.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna rush into the diner like, I'm sorry, I'm late. Whoa, what? Yeah, no, like.
There's something I want to be doing outside, by the way, as they're walking in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we'll cut to y'all on the outside here in a minute.
Just very casually walking up to the guy behind the bar, elbows lean.
Yeah, as soon as you walk up, he doesn't look up from polishing his glass. He's now moved on to another glass. And he says, "Hello, ma'am. Welcome to Ken's. Can I help you?"
I reach over and, like, the glass he just finished cleaning, I just move it a little bit just to get his full attention on me.
He looks up and he gives you kind of like a puzzled look, and then
I'm
like
like, I'm fine.
immediately like goes back to like his customer service face, and says, "Sorry, can I help you?"
Is that a lie?
He's very disgruntled.
Yeah, no, of course. Hi, I was wondering if you could help me find Ken. I'm trying to look for Ken. Ken's Diner, right?
He gives you a look and he says, "My dad's not working today."
Where is he? If he's not working, I need to speak with your dad.
He's at home. Are you a friend of my dad's?"
Slowly backing away from this encounter.
Not exactly a friend of your dad's, but a friend of a friend.
Okay.
Sorry, I know that's really, really vague. Let me give some context. One of your dad's old friends is like an uncle of mine.
Can you? It sounds like you're trying to maybe perhaps sway him or something to that effect.
Yeah,
what
cover
do you-
stories and whatnot.
What exactly are you trying to do here?
I'm trying to let him know that we're cool. Nothing sketchy is going on. Don't mind the fact that I'm literally asking where your dad is.
That's the best way to not appear sketchy. Just be like, "Yo, I'm not sketchy."
Over.
Like, look, I understand that I've given you a lot of information that you don't have a lot of context for. Let me give you some context so that you know why I have this info.
Okay, go ahead and give me a roll to sway. There's like maybe an audio cue or something in like the there's probably like an audio element to this interaction of like kind of like a creeping dread .wav audio track that's playing over this interaction. But we'll see how this goes. Before we figure that out, Fang, are you doing anything? What are you doing as you're sort of backing away from the counter as Polly is like talking to this very confused young man?
Going to just kind of look around the diner.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, hoping that I see any indication that we should be doing something differently. But also kind of more to myself, mapping out where might be the best place to go if and when a fight inevitably breaks out. Like, where are there doors and where are there places that we
Yeah.
can shelter and that kind of thing.
Yeah, you're doing the classic private security scan of the room. Okay. Let's handle Polly's role first, and then we'll go into yours. So Polly, sway to me sounds like it sounds to me like what you're trying to do is sway. Since you're kind of lying about why it is that you're here, what is it that you're trying to get out of this though? Like what's your end goal here? What's your intent?
The intent is to get him on my side.
Okay, to what ends?
Right. Information, because we're late. We're supposed to be here at 1:30. If I can get him on my side, then he'll be more forthcoming with, hey, who's been here, who's been waiting, that kind of information.
Okay.
More, right. I want to make him more forthcoming.
Okay. What action rating would you like to use to get that across?
Action rating. Holy shit. Okay.
What skill are you gonna use?
Yeah, what skill?
By the way, Bree, while he's figuring that out, do you have noise suppression turned on?
Let me check. Yeah. Probably should have gone over the rules.
How does that make this sway? Is this going to be a desperate roll, Teddy?
Yes. But for an extenuating circumstance outside of just trying to talk to this guy.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah. How do I determine? How do I roll? I don't know how to roll.
Okay, so
but you're going to go with sway, right?
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
You can go with something else if you'd like.
Oh, I would love to do something else because I have nothing in sway, and I would like to. I'm trying to control.
Okay.
I could see that. Getting some sort of control over the situation that makes sense for this. Yeah. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your rating and control, how many like little pips you have on the thing, and that's gonna be the number of dice that you roll for this roll. The position is desperate. And your effect level, I think we'll say, is... We'll just say standard.
Resistance roll. Am I doing that?
No, I was just testing something.
Okay. So I'm just rolling 1d6?
No. Wait, how much? What do you have in control? How many pips do you
have? I have one black pip in control for my eyes.
Okay. So you're
Wait a minute. Oh, this is wrong. I'm so sorry. I should have more than this.
Let me see.
All my skills I actually just realized reset to their base.
Yeah. I should have more than that. All my skills also got reset.
I just realized. I was like, wait a second.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only have 3 pips too.
Don't nearly have. You guys don't have any. Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, that's fun.
Let me just throw some things back in here.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I was like, wait a minute, I should have more control than this. Where do I have?
Don't remember what I had.
Yeah. I don't remember what I had before, but I know I had more than 3 black pips.
If you can't remember, yeah, you should have more. I think you should have 6 total.
7 with your cybernetic.
7 with the augment, which it looks at least Jose still has his augment.
Yeah, my augment stayed.
My augment stayed. Where did I put my? Okay.
That's weird. Yeah, so you get 3 more pips to distribute. However, you can't have a skill above
2.
2, yeah.
Okay, I've got mine back to kind of close to what I think it was.
Okay, even if it's not, it doesn't really matter. You can freely reassign that.
No, I had them set. I know exactly what they are. Okay, yes. Let me mark them down here again. I have 1 in finesse. I have 1 in ghost. I should have 2 in control, 2 network, and 1 in sway. That's what it is. I'll hit him with the control with 2.
Okay. So, we have determined. Okay, so your position is going to be desperate. Your effect is going to be standard. You're rolling a 2. You can always apply bonus dice to any roll. So how you can do that, you can get assistance from a teammate for a bonus 1d, but the teammate takes 1 stress. If it makes sense fictionally, I think in this situation, I don't think Fang could necessarily help you out with this.
Right.
You can push yourself in the situation to get another plus 1d, but you'll have to take 2 stress. Or you can accept a ripple. David, you would know this is a devil's bargain from Blades in the Dark. A ripple is anybody can offer a ripple. It's sort of an extra complication to the scene. You get an extra 1d for that. However, the ripple will happen whether or not you succeed or fail.
Okay, I'll just roll my 2d6.
Okay, you don't want to take an extra. You don't want to push yourself for 2 stress.
I don't think Polly is in a position where she feels like she needs to.
Okay, all right, cool.
I will tell you,
Perfect, because she
failing
definitely is.
The issue is,
Yeah.
if she doesn't feel it, obviously you go with God. But it's like failing on a desperate situation is not. The consequences are harsh, but that's the metagame side of that.
Yeah, and yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, as far as Polly's concerned, she's walked into this diner and she's asking this kid, "Hey, Ken?"
Like it.
Ooh,
It's a 2 and a 1.
Oh man,
Okay. So
that's rough.
So that's standard. Okay.
But it's desperate,
But it's-
and that means we don't get what we want.
It's like, I don't even know that I'm in a desperate situation.
So
Which is probably why you get caught off guard so bad. This is gonna be fucked.
the guy behind the counter, what do you say to him?
Yeah, no, I think the whole thing where he was just confused about, like, why are you talking about my dad? And I was just going on a spiel about, like, oh no, it's like the reason why I know, a reason why me, a random person, is coming in. The reason why I know your dad is because of, connect. He has a friend. We're friendly, and I'm just basically hitting him with circular logic.
His eyes glaze over while you're talking to him, and then
Perfect.
like as soon as there's like a break in what you're saying, he says, yeah, I think actually, I do remember there was I mean, I guess you could come and talk to my dad, but now that you're talking, there was someone asking for my dad earlier. Are you? What's your name?
Polly.
Oh, his eyes go wide, and he says, "Oh man, I'm sorry. Hey, there was someone here for you, but they booted on out of here a little while ago."
Oh no, where did they go?
I don't know, man.
Well, did they say what their name was? What did they look like?
No, it's kind of like a weird-looking guy, kind of like pasty white dude, shaved head. He was wearing like a weird suit or something. He didn't look old, so But
When you
whatever.
say like a weird suit, do you mean like those kind of suits? And she's pointing down the diner at like the corpo people, like those kind of suits.
No, like not like a business, like a corpo suit, like a jumpsuit, man.
Like a flight suit.
So, Fang, so you're scanning the room.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and you look around. It actually doesn't seem like it's like we see you look around and it's mostly old people.
Yeah.
Do you still want to take the time and look? I don't know if you've been following the conversation that Fang's been having with this guy behind the counter. If you take the time to look and you fuck up, I'm gonna take more ticks on the progress clock. And just to let you know, we're getting pretty close to it being full.
I I don't think that I need to. I think that establishing that it's a bunch of old people, and I feel like I'm still within earshot of Polly, so I'm good. I don't need to.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you could take a look and see, there was a guy that was here just a little while ago and now he's gone. And it seems like he has a pretty, he's got, he's a pretty unique looking character. You could maybe
Bald.
check and see if you could look, around outside. It's only been a little while since he left. Or
In
you
the
don't
anime,
have,
they have
you
pink
don't
hair.
have to. No, in the anime, they're the one guy that, like, never mind.
God.
They're the ugly bastard character, if this was a hentai.
Hilarious.
Oh,
You know what I
Oh.
mean.
I hate that I know what you mean.
Okay, so you're not gonna take the time to do anything then, Fang? Okay. Do we, you guys have all, the two of you outside, have been listening into this conversation. Maybe this is a good time, to cut, to our crew on the outside of the building. You guys have open comms between, the four of you. Whatever Polly was hearing, I imagine she was probably, broadcasting it out, to the two of you. Do we want to go ahead and cut to the two of you outside? Or what?
I have something I can be
This
doing.
guy is gone. He has left. You guys were 15 minutes late, and he is gone. But it seems like he only left just a little while ago. So he could still be around, right? So, what do we want to do here?
I personally want to see, are there cameras? Like, I'm assuming there's, like, cameras around on various corners, like, around the shop and such.
Oh yeah, of course. Like Ken's, okay, so we'll cut to the exterior of Ken's. Where are the two of you?
I think, just, if you're looking at the front of Ken's, like, on the corner, like, to the right, there might be, like, a thin alley that just leans back, and I'm just kind of standing against the front,
Mhm.
but, like, leaned up, partially blocking the alley.
Okay. Cool. Ravel, where are you? Do we see you or no?
Yeah, I am. I'm near to cornfield, but I'm sitting more. I'm more like I'm like, is there maybe like a fire escape or something? Could I be like?
You think
Would
there's
that
fire
work
escapes in
this area?
Cyberpunk?
I don't think there are fire
Mm,
escapes in Cyberpunk.
No,
I'm
it's
just
okay.
standing-
So let me give you an idea of what this part of the city looks like. You're over close from here, maybe down a long street. You could see like out in the down a very long street from where you're at right now. You could maybe see the ocean. There are surrounding you. We're sort of kind of like in like an old colonial style plaza. It's sort of like a like the old city center. In the middle of the it's all like cobblestone streets. In the middle of the center, there's like maybe like a statue of like some old like Spanish colonizer to the island, like on a horse, like very gallant. Or very gallant looking. There are like some benches with like some pigeons kind of like fluttering around. There's lots of like stores selling shit to tourists. And then there's Ken's, this very like quaint looking old fashioned diner on the outside. That's kind of like what the environs look like around Ken's.
Okay, I have the drone as a backpack. Like it's like I'm wearing it like a backpack. And the gun has like I'm sort of like carrying like the gun like in what appears to be like it's like unobtrusively like in sort of like a not quite unobtrusive. It's like in a long like a battered old violin case.
Okay.
That she's like it completely clashes with her outfit. I think that's kind of why it looks so armed for bear. Is it just like why is this like tiny dark-haired Jersey girl holding a violin case?
Yeah, you guys are carrying too many weird objects. Too much bulk for what you're carrying around.
I kind of look over at cornfield and I'm like, can you hack something?
And as he looks
Hack
over to
'em.
me, you've already seen me pulling out what looks like little. It is a copper spool. It's a fishing like spool, and in it is just copper wire with a little magnetic stick.
Mhm.
I pull out like this little, just kind of block of a tablet. It's more just like a cube than anything else. It, like clicks in, grab it, throw it up, and it magnet clicks onto like a camera on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wanting to utilize my what's it called? My fine hacking gear to try to connect to the cameras and see if I can scrub back like 20-30 minutes to see where this person came out and went.
Maybe even less time, because they might. I think they only left like what, maybe 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, like it's just starting from now. Like, see where I am and just literally just start just slowly scrubbing backwards.
Okay.
Until I see this very distinct.
Okay. Cool.
So
that sounds good. Okay. So I have a good idea of what your goal is here. What action rating are you using?
I'm gonna be using hack.
Okay. You're rolling at desperate position. However, you're using fine tools, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that...
I don't remember if fine gives me a better die or if it improves my position or effect.
I think it improves your effect.
Yeah, so it's still desperate.
So it ups the tier of your effect. We'll have that do... So it's desperate position, but great effect.
Can I push myself to push that to risky position instead of desperate?
So do you want to swap them then? So you would have standard position. So you would have risky position, but
so I still want the great effect from the item. I in addition want to push myself.
No. So if
you can't push yourself, I thought you could.
No, if you can only push yourself to give yourself an extra die. You can swap position and effect though. If I'm not mistaken.
Let me see. I don't remember.
Let us look at the raw.
You can accept a ripple for another. You can add bonus die. GM sets the effect level.
These are for specific characters.
Okay, here we go. Here's the. We're looking at like page 18 to see how the roles play out.
I just thought that was a thing.
Player chooses the action rating. The GM sets the position.
Yeah, you can trade position for effect. A player might want to trade position for effect after factors are considered and the GM announces the effect level. For instance, if the player is going to make a risky roll with standard effect, they might instead want to push their luck and make a desperate roll, but with great effect.
And so I could then do that in the reverse, you're saying as well?
I could,
no?
I could I could assist for an extra bonus die and take stress, and
I'm just trying to think of ways to get out of.
Yeah, you guys are in a hole. If you do good here, you'll give yourself a little bit of breathing room.
Oh well, yeah, actually, I guess. Yeah, no, I'll push myself and just take just the die.
Okay. So we're rolling
desperate.
So we're rolling desperate, great, and then how many die?
So far, I'm at 3d6. Do you want to help, David? You don't have to.
I can. So fictionally, you're using this spool to connect
this little hacking interface.
I could maybe I could rig it, or like I could help you by we can quickly rig it into my drone.
Yeah.
And then the drone can plug into a hard line nearby, so you don't have to
maybe instead of me just throwing it up and sticking, like I stick it to your drone, it runs up and kind of like clamps onto.
The drone could act like a signal booster too.
True. So yeah, there we go. So I'll take a stress for that.
Okay, cool. I like that. So you get plus 1 more stress, and then Ravel makes sure you take 1 more stress. Okay, so you're rolling 4d6. Desperate positions.
Does he take an extra stress? Is he just?
I take 2
1?
stress because I pushed myself.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, as long as you're not taking 3.
Yeah, no, I don't take stress because you help me.
So that's 4 dice.
Okay.
Big money. Come on.
6. Wait, I forgot how to roll. 46.
Hell yes.
Yes, 2 6s.
Hell yes.
All right, let's
That's
go.
a critical.
Isn't that a critical success?
That's above and beyond, right?
Yep, that's a critical success.
Fuck yes.
Okay, perfect. So that's great. We're gonna remove 3 ticks from the progress clock, which is a good bit.
I know what progress clocks are.
I had went through them briefly when I read the rules for the first time. I forgot that they exist, and I know that they're important.
They're basically just generic rundowns of how we attacked obstacles. So instead of it just being like, okay, I'm gonna roll to catch the person. All right, now sprint after and tackle them. It's like, okay, our goal is to find this person. That might be a clock, and then anything we do in that direction will progress that clock. And once it fills, we've achieved the objective. So it's not like we will eventually specifically have to do choice A. We have to catch up to them. We then have to tackle them. We could do a bunch of different things.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's just a good way of like keeping track of the situation and like how
It allows
everybody's
for
roles are-
flexible play as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So the way that it sounds like to me is for our current situation from a meta player perspective, there's a clock running down.
Mhm.
Our actions have been adding to it, which means something's going to run out. And their successes have brought that clock backwards, so we have more time to do the thing that
No.
the clock is for.
No, that's actually
we-
that's pretty close to what's going on here. So you
Okay.
started off the engagement roll at a desperate situation, so the clock was quite a bit filled up already going into the situation.
That's what that means.
Um,
Okay.
the
Well, there's
roll got-
both kinds of clocks then, because
Yes,
that's not
many
always
there's
necessarily the case.
many different types of clocks. You can use
Gotcha.
yeah, and they can be used for many different things. Like you could use a clock to like track like a very formidable opponent's health or like armor. Like that could be a thing. So you guys went
But for
into
this
the-
instance,
yes, you guys went
this
into
clock.
Yes, you guys went into the situation as desperate, so the clock started already filled out quite a bit. Polly like
Really?
messed up her role to control the situation by talking to the guy, so that ate up more time. After the guy had already left, so it filled out the clock even more. How the clock gets filled in and how it gets depleted, depending on successes or failures in the case of this clock, is determined by the effect level of the roll. So since that was standard effect, it filled in the clock by 2. But since
Critical
Cornfield's
success.
success was great effect level, then it got rid of 3.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool. So
Put the pieces together.
all right, so how does it? So what do we see as you guys hack into this thing?
I just imagine it's just like an extremely clear image, and I think with the level of success, I was able to also interface into the little like there's obviously tracking software in these cameras. People are being tracked.
Yeah.
probably where they're
Ken's as you like hack into it. You know, you're kind of maybe surprised to see that Ken's has a very high quality security system for, you know, a diner out in the plaza. He's keeping track of a lot of stuff. There are more cameras than usual surrounding the perimeter of Ken's. They're all of very high quality. Like, it's kind of no joke. Like, hacking into a system is maybe, you know, we see that it takes you maybe, you know, a little bit longer than, you know, you might expect to hack into the security system of a, you know, of a diner.
It's a diner.
Yeah, right? Like, it's kind of unnecessarily nice of a security system. But you do manage to get through, and it's, like, very high-quality video. How do you, like, interface with it? Like, how are you seeing this? Like, is it through, like, an augmentation, like, in your eyes? Or is there, like a screen that you have physically that you're looking at?
I think this box that I have, one side of it's a screen. Like, imagine a large fidget cube.
Okay.
And there's, like, dials and buttons all around.
Mhm.
And so, like, you'll just see me literally crank the side, and it just kind of goes and just starts to go back.
I'm
see the
imagining it like a Jedi holocron.
I like my more like analog. Like it's much more of like a imagine like I don't know, like it would look like just like a hunk of metal if I set it on the middle of a
Yeah.
A
table.
GameCube.
Kind of like a GameCube. It does have a handle. It absolutely has a handle.
Nice. Sweet. So there's a screen on that. We maybe like see over your shoulder. Ravel, are you kind of like peering over it? I imagine Ravel's quite a bit shorter than Cornfield is.
Yeah.
Are you watching it on the screen? Does he have to sort of like
I'm
you know?
hunching down for him so he can see it too.
Yeah. Cool. So you guys see on the screen, you know, this is very high quality video pouring out. Sort of scrubbing through the footage. At exactly 1:30, the man in question that you heard described over the comms from Polly and Fang on the inside, you know, this very like tall, kind of strange looking, kind of like skinhead looking, you know, pasty white guy in like a black and gold like jumpsuit. comes walking out of Ken's, like exactly right on the dot. Like we see, like maybe there's like a time readout, like in the top of the screen. We see like 0, 1, 30, 59. That takes over 1 second, and the door opens, and this dude is walking out, like with a purpose, like stone cold face. He walks out. He's carrying with him a small attaché case, and he walks out of the building. What do you do?
I think I'd just be like, I just kind of click in the ring and be like, the person we're looking for, I think we have them, or where they're heading. They're no longer here.
What do y'all do on the inside?
You
guys can.
Paula's gonna just wrapping her convo up. Okay, just all right. Well, thank you for so much. I'll tell your dad whatever. Blah blah. Bye bye. And then just dipping out.
Making a beeline over to her, like to meet back up on the way out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we see everybody sort of reconvene outside. We've got this footage of this guy leaving the building. We'll say that it's maybe been about, a couple of minutes. So it's been like, almost close to or just slightly over 15 minutes since this dude left the building. But you have his face. There are other cameras in the square that you could probably hack into as well. We don't have to roll for that to determine where he's going, if that's how we want to approach the situation. But you have like what he looks like, what he had with him. What do we want to do?
Can we trace him?
You certainly could.
Yeah.
Not me, because I'm not good at trace, but if
I
there's
was
someone
gonna
who
say-
could.
Theoretically.
I have a pretty good hack. Like I could still just continue to try to hack into different cameras to find out like.
Yeah, we can let that roll ride. We don't have to roll for that again. Cornfield, do you want to hack into the other camera? Like, it's a pretty big square. There's a lot of businesses that are facing sort of, this plaza, with the little pigeon benches and the big statue.
I
I
just
imagine
imagine
overhead
literally
there's like
set up.
lots of other there's like cables and stuff like running over kind of like a net over the plaza. There's like some they try and keep like the old part of the city, mostly, at least for the tourists, like, how it was back then. But there's, still a lot of like modern, embellishments.
I imagine I'm just like literally
futuristic.
in my like jumping from camera to camera and like I'm so sorry, I'm blanking on the code name for David's character. What did you say it was?
Ravel.
Ravel. Like just literally nodding a direction to Ravel, basically telling you like to move the drone to camera.
Mm-hmm.
And just like basically what's that hacking game by Ubisoft?
Watch Dogs?
Watch Dogs. Basically doing the Watch Dogs things where you're jumping from camera to camera, except it's not just like look at it. It's like, okay, fly the drone to that one. All right, see where it's
Kind of
going.
sounds
Okay,
like
fly
this
the
is a
drone to
really
that
good
one.
setup for a trace, because like which would bump our this would bump up the effect level or improve the position for the next roll to me.
Yes.
Like possibly such a good success on my hack will
Yes.
give
And
you an advantage on the trace.
Yes.
And I'm happy to run the trace with my drone. It's just I'm gonna have some. It'll just be kind of tough. I could fictionally do it. I just don't know if somebody else wants to do something else.
What do you say?
I'm trying to think, what abilities do we have as the crew?
I don't know.
We have
I think-
exosuits.
I don't think,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think any of your crew abilities would apply to this situation in particular.
I don't think
Oh,
so
no,
either.
I was thinking of taking synchronized, but we didn't end up taking that. That was where if we do group rolls, and if we get 2 6s, it counts as a critical.
I think
not
we need
just
someone to
one
either
person.
like follow him, for real, or it's going to be the drone. And I think someone following would be better.
I do have a question.
Mhm.
Could I use network to get us into just the cameras around the area, or to help
Isn't
us?
networking.
Networking,
talking?
yeah, networking is like people talking and knowing people.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought I could.
And Cornfield has kind of already done that. I think sort of
Gotcha.
what we're trying to decide here is how we want to track this guy down. I think, we maybe get like a series of shots of, Cornfield going through, Ravel piloting the drone to all these different cameras and like, hacking into their, into their whatever, and like, you know, we see this guy sort of like walk out of Ken's. He walks into you know, the middle of the square, and kind of like looks around very quickly, and then starts heading off, you know, in a direction. From there,
foot?
yes, he's on foot. So, you know, if we were to try and track this guy down and trace him, you would, since he rolled so well, you know, his hacking is so good, he's got, you know, lots of skills, he's doing it all very quickly. You would have increased position and effect for the next roll. We'll just bump everything both down and up by 1. So we'll have this be risky if we were to try and do that, and the effect would probably be great. However, maybe let's try and consider something. Having the drone tail this guy might not be the most inconspicuous thing to do. This guy does not look, I mean, you know, he's got shady guy coding, right? Like, you know, here's this creepy skinhead looking dude in like an all black jumpsuit in and amidst like all of these, you know, touristy looking type people. He looks like if Agent 47 was like really into cryptocurrency.
He found that costume.
Yeah. He looks like the guy that created Ethereum, but like muscular. Look that up.
And this isn't like the downtown. This isn't like downtown city where there's probably delivery drones all around. Like our drone probably stands out a bit.
Yes, it does. There's mostly tourists. Like you're in like colonial Disneyland right now, basically.
In which case, I could ghost. I have a ranking.
You could, but we would need to try, and I think tracing this guy is probably the best course of action of what we're trying to do.
But you can set position effect as you like, Teddy.
Yeah.
He can ghost if he wants. You just choose position and effect for how great that is.
Limited.
That yes.
And the setup might counter it.
But I just want everybody to know that, like, you know, what are we trying to do here? Are we trying to catch up with this guy and be like, hey, sorry, we missed the thing? Like, what are we trying to do here?
I think so. Yeah, I think we're trying to catch him because, in my head, we were supposed to meet him and get something from him. He left with a case. We should meet him and get the case.
Okay, but do we know where he's headed? That's the thing. We can sort of follow him. We can follow him through the square. He leaves the square. The colonial part of town is this strip here. He is headed. He's headed to the east. He's headed east out of the plaza.
So can we intercept him, or do we have to roll?
You would have to roll to see if you intercept him.
Okay. Then
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I just don't think that any of us have. Does anyone here have trace?
No.
No, but I will at this point I'm willing to push myself and track him with the drone so we can at least
Who's
have the
the most-
opportunity
I mean,
as a
okay.
group to intercept.
Right. I think the drone would get close to him, but just to kind of like signal something. This is the kind of guy. I mean, in the setting, this is the kind of guy that you would know is coded as like maybe someone that is like very like technologically like savvy and affiliated. Like he has like a very particular like type of jumpsuit. You can see that he's like, maybe there are some like tells that he's like, you know, augmented in a certain way. If he sees a drone following him, one, he would probably know that a drone is following him, and B, he would probably not take too kindly to knowing that a drone is following him, right?
What if we put a note on it that says, sorry we were late, we're catching up?
Can we wait? Can you text him? What if you texted him?
How could you text him?
Oh,
Hack his phone.
we have his face. We can run him through some registries, get his contact information. Unless, well, he's a glitch. He's not going to be on any shit.
We could just physically trace him. Just like,
Yeah.
why don't we just do a group? Could we do could someone lead a group action, and then we could then we
a
could
group
just
action would give us the highest chance of success, but also high chance
all
that
take
whoever
stress.
leads it is going to take stress. No, not everyone that takes fails.
Ah,
It's only
true,
who
true.
I'll do
leads.
it. I'll lead the group.
They
action.
take whoever takes it takes 1 stress for each PC that rolled a 1 to 3 as their best result.
Okay. So what's the goal
So
here?
this sounds like we're just
Intercept this
bumbling
guy.
down the street to intercept him, like just
Yeah, whether it's
tracking him, and we're not skilled at it, but we're
Mhm.
doing it.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. And we're using
whether
trace
that's
as the
prone
action
or
rating, right?
on foot.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Position is risky. I'm gonna bump down the effect level from great to standard.
Okay. And was it great before because of the hacking?
Yes, it was great before. I mean, it was tenuously great before because of the hacking, but since nobody's really good at tracing, and this guy is maybe, I mean, he's the kind of guy to leave a meeting literally right on the dot 1 minute after you were supposed to meet because you weren't there, right?
Well, could we have? Well, did we get any benefit from the setup? Could it be like this is risky? Like this started off as risky, and now we're controlled.
It started off
from
as
position?
desperate. It would have been
Interesting.
desperate, and now it's being risky because of Christian's because of
I'm happy
Cornfield's
with
role.
that. That's
Okay,
good.
I'm happy with it.
Okay. So how are we doing the group action then? How does that work?
Yes,
We
does it work?
all roll our skill of trace, which in this case, if we have none, everyone's going to roll 2d6 and take the lower as your die. And
Okay.
for every if anyone passes, we succeed. However, for every failure, Jose takes 1 stress. So everyone get ready to roll 2d6.
Ready.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So we got at least a success here.
Did not succeed.
Oh, we got a...
Got a crit success.
Nice.
We succeeded. However,
Well, not
you
a-
take 2 stress.
It
Dude,
wouldn't be a crit. But you get exactly what you want.
It's a full
crit.
success.
A crit's a double.
It's a full.
Double
Ah,
six.
So a full success means you take no complication, you don't take any stress. You just get what we want.
Okay. Cool. So what is it that you want exactly?
Although technically, Fang. Wait, do you have
no,
anything
no.
in
We
Oh.
take the lowest dice.
to
don't
lower? So
take
yeah,
the
it's only
six.
it's a hit, but with
Yes.
a complication.
Okay, that's fine.
And I still take
So
the 2
fail.
stress.
Yes, you still take the 2
Fail.
stress, so it's in it.
You actually take 3 stress because I also failed. I rolled a
Oh.
4 and a 3, which means I take the 3. Which is
Okay.
a fail.
So, how do we see this play out? I mean, it's a group action. Polly, you're leading it. To try and intercept this guy using trace. What does the audience see? How does that look?
I think what it is Polly like taps Fang and says, "You and me, we take off on foot," and then the stress is literally Polly like trying to coordinate and trying to figure out the directions that Ravel and Cornfield are giving to both her and Fang, and then just the all this coordination, taking wrong turns, like got to move this way, and then eventually we will like with the trying to track the drone as it's flying above us, all that kind of. And then,
right, yeah, I imagine you guys are heading on foot, sort of being like the boots on the ground, and then the drone is continuing to like help hack into like other security systems as we're sort of going down the street. Like maybe we might like catch a glance of like the guy's boot like next to like a particular like car that's
and then
parked
we
out
go
on
down
the
this
street,
hallway.
and then like Fang and Polly have to be like, oh, it's that car, and then like go down there. It's like, oh, he's by this building. Like that sort of plays out for like a little while. Until eventually, the old part of the city is giving way. District from the Corpo center of town. In the distance, we can see like just these megalithic, looming glass structures. Sort of like careening up towards the heavens. They're glass, but they're also like kind of periodically like broken up by like these sort of like concrete like esque structures, like maybe they're sort of like have some defenses on them, possibly like to defend against the acts of God or whatever. The man is sort of like walking down the sidewalk. the area is becoming kind of sparse. We're sort of like in a no man's land between districts. So there's kind of not a whole lot around. There's like some scant patches of grass, some of the few that you can find within the city itself. The buildings are sort of like thinning out. Most of the buildings that are here around the perimeter are like, older style buildings and apartment buildings that are sort of like still left from like, over, half a, what's the word I'm looking for? Half a century? Is that 50 years? Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know words.
You do.
Old buildings. It's kind of like an abandoned part of town. He's walking down a sidewalk when you finally catch up to him. He's maybe 30, 40 meters away down the sidewalk. It's kind of like a cracked sidewalk. There's a road next to you that, occasionally a car might drive down, but not too many. Most people don't take this road, particularly into the Corpo center of town. They'll take the highway, or they'll take, a road into the Corpo center from a nicer part of town. Tourists don't really go this way. It's an abandoned kind of this is like a quiet place. Throughout this whole episode for the past while that we've been inside of the colonial part, there's a lot of bustle. We've seen people and tourists around. The colonial building's very bright colored. This is a quiet kind of place. Fang, Polly, you're out on the street. He's about 40 meters ahead. He's still walking down the street. He's walking at a very leisurely pace. What do? He hasn't seen you behind him.
I think we're running after him.
Yeah, we're just.
Hey! Hello, hola! Hello, hey!
Maybe don't cause a scene.
Oh, well, there's no one really around.
I know.
We're just waving someone down. Hey! Hey!
He's
I
not
like that one character, just hey, don't cause a scene.
He's not turning around. He just continues to keep leisurely walking down the street. Maybe another 50 meters ahead of him, the road starts dipping down into a tunnel, and then that tunnel maybe heads into the corporate part of town. It's like a tunnel that runs underneath the highway. He's just walking down the sidewalk. He's not turning around. Now that you're closer to him, you see this guy is easily close to 7 feet tall. The jumpsuit that he's wearing is weirdly skin tight. It's got gold banding across his biceps and across his thighs. There's some weird padding going on in places where it's not skin tight, but it's mostly skin tight. The boots are the boots that he has on his feet are worked into the jumpsuit as well. And then he doesn't seem like he's carrying anything on him besides the attaché case.
So quietly to Fang. Well, actually, as a out of character thing, I have a concealed pistol with sleeper rounds. I could just put him.
You could.
No, not kill him. Not kill him. Put him to sleep, literally.
I don't think he would respond well to that.
Yeah.
Probably not, but we don't.
He's already mad we're late.
He's already not responding.
Yeah, but
we
just
have to get in front of him.
there's no way we're getting the job after that. Is there any way, Ted? Is there any way we could cut him off?
Well,
Can I
you
go-
could go up and poke him on the shoulder and be like,
Yeah,
hey.
let's do that before we resort to violence.
I mean, you could cut him off. You could try and run around in front of him. He's just walking down the road. If you started jogging, you'd probably get up ahead of him. He's walking at a very, if you're familiar with the Parquet Court song, walking at a downtown pace. He's walking at a downtown pace.
Okay, we'll just catch up to him.
Yeah.
Okay. We see you, we sort of see you, catch up to him. You're now within a few feet of him. Obviously, he can hear that there are people approaching from behind him. He's not turning around. He just keeps walking.
Getting in front of him.
Okay, you're gonna go and cut him across?
Yep.
So, you go and kind of run past him. He's not looking down at you and sort of get in front of him. He stops as soon as you get in front of him for just a split moment. And then before you have a chance to say anything, he's already moving to push you aside. Do you try and stop him?
There's no fucking way this guy's pushing me aside. Absolutely the fuck
Okay,
not.
yeah, what do you do?
I'm going to prevent
He's
that.
really moving to push you. He doesn't know who you are. He thinks that this fucking like street girl's getting in his way. He's not angry or anything. He's just immediately going to like put a hand out and like push you.
I mean,
As one would might do.
I don't want to
You're
necessarily
gonna
get
have to roll to resist physically as he tries to push you. His hand.
Okay.
This guy's almost 7 feet tall. His hand is moving in fast.
Okay. I mean, what do you want me to roll? It's not really combat.
No, what do you want to? I mean, do you want to like stop him? Like, do you want to like stop him cold in his
Oh,
tracks?
I thought you meant like literally roll a resistance. I was like,
I mean, yeah. I really would probably like I have an augmented arm. I really probably would try to stop him.
Okay.
Like make him pay attention to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We won't have to.
I feel
Actually-
like combat or control would work there
actually-
really well.
Actually, no. Yeah.
Finesse?
So this is gonna be a resistance roll. You're gonna take stress for resisting as he moves his hand in. You're using your cybernetic arm, so we'll have you take a little bit less stress than you would otherwise. But let's go over how resistances work.
Okay.
Let's see here.
it's probably a prowess resistance, right?
Yep. mhm.
I think so.
Yes, it's going to be prowess. So you're always, when you resist something, you're always going to succeed, no matter what. But it's always going to be at a cost. So what we do is we start with 6. The most you could take on the most stress that you could take from a resistance check to like not suffer consequences of something is 6. But we subtract whatever roll of the die that you get from that 6, and that's how much stress you take. So we'll let you add plus 1d to the die pool because of you're using your cybernetic arm. And we'll probably get to see that. Oh, I lost y'all again. 1 sec. So Fang, we're gonna use your prowess. So how many dice is that?
You
Where
count
is
the
How
you
many
count the
of
first,
the first
pips
pips? Yeah, in your prowess
going
section.
down.
Oh, in prowess I have 3.
So you
Okay.
have 3 of the skills.
So you have 3. So that's
Well, I have 2 skills, but one of them has 2.
So you have 2.
Okay.
Is how.
yeah. So it's
how it
the
works.
first. So it's the first pip in each skill.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And then
Yeah, the
adding in the one from red from your cyberware. So
Okay.
so that's gonna be 3d, and that's how many dice you're gonna roll, and then whatever the highest number of the dice is what we'll subtract from 6 to determine how much stress you take.
Rolling d6, right?
Yes, all d6.
Like everything is always D6.
Nice, girl. Hell yeah.
A
So you
lot
only
of
take-
today.
Oh shit! All right, okay, cool. So you don't take any stress.
I was rolled up and saw Ravels, and I was like, oh, you take 2 stress. Cool.
Nope.
That's great.
I took 3 stress just getting us here.
Oh, do you have any stress?
Me?
Yeah, do you have any stress currently?
Nope.
Because a critical, in this case, you would also actually get rid of a stress, but you don't have it. So
No, I do not.
Are
Just a thing
criticals
to know.
okay? I'm gonna hold the phone real quick. We keep talking about criticals. I don't think that those are a thing.
yes, it is.
They are a
But
thing.
It's a thing. You'll see it if you type in critical, like if you control F,
I'm gonna do it right
it'll
now.
talk about it like in the action roll, and like on the page, for example, page 31 of the book.
Oh,
resistance
yep, you're
roll.
Right. Yep, if you get a critical result, you also clear 1 stress. Okay, cool. I stand corrected. Criticals are a thing. Okay, cool.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
It actually means what he thinks it means.
But I know it
Critical also means increased effect if you
Yes.
manage to land
Yeah,
that.
in a action roll.
Mhm.
for
In
example.
an action roll.
Okay, anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. So, Fang, you go to get in front of this guy. He's already moving in at just this fucking, like, mammoth arm at you. How do you use your cybernetic arm to stop him? And I imagine we get this in, like, a cool, like, action shot as you, like, hand collides with forearm or whatever to, like, stop him.
This is probably not on theme at all, but in my
Okay.
head, it's like, y'all motherfuckers seen Treasure Planet?
Yeah.
No, and
Yeah.
that's perfect. Treasure Planet is perfectly on
His
theme.
arm is? Yeah, that's how I think about it.
Okay.
I guess that's more steampunk, but that's okay.
So that's what my hack tool is kind of like. That like the map. kind of.
Steampunk is just
like what I imagine
Victorian
like you-
cyberpunk. I can't believe I just realized that. Anyway,
It
Anyway,
sure is.
as he
Ooh.
kind of moves to push me out of the way, I'm just going to grab his hand or fist or kind of here and push it out of the way. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Yeah.
As you
Just-
push it out of the way, his arm sort of like swings back, kind of like a little bit too like loosely and violently. Like you think that he would offer some resistance as he does that, but it just sort of like swings back weirdly. Like his joint almost like pops out and sort of like reconnects as his arm goes back in. He looks down at you and he's smiling. He's getting a look closer at his face right now. You know, maybe before, since this is an anime, we've done sort of like the anime thing where if there's like a suspicious character, we don't really like see like all of their face, right? It's sort of like kind of shadowed, like maybe their eye, like their eye sockets are in shadows.
Is a canonical thing that they can be using. It's the obscure. It's a thing that covers the top half of your face that you activate as like kind of some sort of disguise and something.
Okay.
It's as an item that we all have is like the obscure.
I wondered what that was.
Me
Okay.
too.
I don't think it's that.
Okay, I'm just saying that is a thing we all have.
But that anime trope, though.
Yeah. So now we can finally get a look at his face, and we see this from your perspective, Fang. His eyes are gone. In place of his eyes, he has like these two plug-looking things like socketed into his eye sockets. His nose has been like replaced with like a very off-putting like chrome like nose that's like in a very like strange style. Like he kind of like the nostrils are kind of like slightly like slitted up. It looks like very like designer in like a weird way. It gives him kind of like a very like upsetting, but like upon further examination, just like a very tacky looking like demonic like Japanese oni looking look. However, his teeth and his mouth are all, you know, those are all organic. He has very thin, almost non-existent lips. His mouth is like very unnaturally wide. He's flashing like too many teeth inside of his mouth. He gives you like a huge grin as he looks down at you, and then he kind of like his arm sort of like swings back. As his arm swings back into place, we maybe hear sort of like a cybernetic whine as the arm swings back. He then sort of like holds the hand out, his hand kind of like up in front of him like this, and then all of a sudden we hear from up above the sound of rolling thunder, and a very light rain begins to descend upon the scene. He looks at you and he says, "It's raining."
Cool.
It is. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And here we are without our umbrella.
What do you do?
Is anybody around?
No.
Okay.
Hi there. Sorry, wrong voice. Hola. I believe we are late. You were supposed to meet us at Cannes and you left punctually.
The meeting is over.
The meeting was pushed back. Don't worry, we are friends of Smiley's, so we will be taking the case.
You were to meet me at Ken's at 1:30. I waited.
Yes, and we were
What?
on the way. Traffic. Miscalculations.
I'll be going now. And he starts to moving again. What do you do?
No, he's not. I'm gonna get in his way.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I'll take control of the situation.
No, we'll let Fang try and get in his way. That's a little bit more
Oh,
immediate
yeah.
since it's physical.
Yeah.
Fang, go ahead and give me, you know, you're just trying to stop him outright, right? Are you just trying to, like, get a hold of him or what?
I think that I'm probably 1.5 feet shorter than him, but I'm just going to like reach up and try and shove him back.
Okay. What is your goal here? Are you trying to piss him off and get into a fight, or are you just trying to like stop him and say, no, we're gonna have this meeting now?
Right. I'm just trying to demonstrate that we're not going to take no for an answer.
Okay.
If you're
what-
so
It's not
punctual, let's
aggressive,
make
it's
him.
firm.
Hmm?
It's not aggressive, it's firm.
Mm-hmm.
what action rating are you gonna use?
Huh?
What action rating are you gonna use here?
What does that mean?
What
Like,
skill
which
are you
skill?
gonna use?
I'm not sure because here's the thing. I don't want to call it combat.
Mm-hmm.
Control, maybe?
Control
I
makes
think
sense
control,
to me.
because you're trying to sort of like use your firmness to like take
Mhm.
control of like what he's trying to do as opposed to take him down. I'd say combat would be better for that.
Okay.
You're acting with some restraint here, you know.
Oh, what that does mean is you probably could use combat, but with less effect, and that would kind of probably flavor if you fail
Or-
the direction it would go. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Or
you're
change
probably gonna end up like,
position.
hurting him.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
I imagine in my head if you were to use combat, you would probably like bust out like some kind of martial art or something. Well, not like, explicitly like you do kung fu, but like, use like some sort of like actual physical combat tactic to try and like restrain him.
Like get him in a hold or something.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Okay. So control.
Control.
Okay, you can take +1d if you want to push yourself. However, that'll come at the cost of 2 strength. Polly, you could also offer some assistance here as well. You would take 1 stress and then offer +1d as well if you'd like.
Yes.
Okay, how are you gonna
Wait.
do that? How are you gonna help her? It'll happen either way, so it's just
Yeah.
just disposition.
Letting Fang take care of like the physical, taking control. Polly is going to sort of with Fang's like stand her ground, arms crossed, and sort of reiterate, no, we're going to have this meeting now. Like she's just fully backing up the entire intent of the action.
Yeah, I gotcha. What's your
Oh.
question?
Oh, I have a special ability not to be trifled with where I can perform a feat of superhuman strength, and I think that that's without taking stress.
You can push yourself to do one of the following. Perform a feat of... I think if you push yourself,
You have to
it
push
is with
yourself.
taking stress, but I think
Okay.
what this does is circumvent an action roll.
Oh.
Well,
So you won't have to roll at all.
from what I've seen in like that used in, is it just kind of broadens like if she wanted to stop like a rolling car, that you could then push yourself. Like normally you wouldn't just be able to do that, but like it allows.
Oh, it would
what you
change.
can
It would change position and effect.
or just also open up possibilities.
It
Like
broadens.
there's some things you wouldn't be able to do because we are just people,
Okay.
but she can do something crazy like
a
lift a burning
superhuman feat
car.
of strength.
Okay, I don't think this counts. I mean, this is a big guy, but it's still a guy. This is sort of like, would you rather? This guy could not fight 100, duck-sized horses or whatever.
Well, whereas I would say you probably could still use it, but it'd be a little bit overkill.
100 duck-sized horses is the worst version of that.
Okay, well,
Okay, so you're rolling 2d, and you're not gonna push yourself, right?
no, I'm just doing the 2D that I have in the skill.
Okay, you're gonna get
I'm offering
+1d.
assistance.
Yes, you're gonna get +1d because Polly's gonna,
Oh, okay, so then it's 3.
Yes, so it's 3, and then Polly, make sure you mark 1 stress.
All right,
Alright.
4 stress.
That's a fail.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You
So-
can resist consequences from this.
Hmm.
You can resist consequences from this, kind of like
Yeah.
the way you resisted that other roll.
Okay.
But you're gonna have to take stress. Okay. So, what is it that you do when you try and stop him?
I'm just going to ground my feet and just put my hands on his chest and just push him back.
Okay. As you go to push him back, you do succeed in pushing him back. However, as it's starting to rain a little bit more and more. As you get up closer to him to like, physically go and push him back, you hear like a slight sizzling sound, and you start seeing arcing currents of like very slight amounts of electricity coming like out of his back around his spine. He gets thrown back slightly off of his feet. His like back lurches like a little bit too much, and he starts like sparking even more. He like kind of like very unnaturally slings back forward, kind of like hunks down into kind of like, he looks like kind of like almost like a gorilla, puts the attaché case down like very gingerly, and then immediately starts running up to you, just fist forward, fist like lunging straight towards your face. What do you do? He's gonna hit you. You're gonna have to roll to resist.
Okay, well,
Anime moment right now.
Rolling to resist. God. I mean, fuck.
It's around it's around this point. It's around this time that Ravel and Cornfield kind of come like walking down up the street. What's up?
I want to try to sneak up and grab the case he just set down. Just go away, walk away with it.
What do you do? Fang, what's your question?
Well, first we have to resolve the getting.
Yeah, we're gonna deal with that.
Are you saying he's going to hit me and it's just how I take it that
Yes.
I'm rolling?
So this is how combat works in this game. There's not really like any like different sectioning off of how combat works. We're still going off of your rolls. This is a pretty strong individual. So we're not really going to be operating on equal footing here for the most part, right? If he's going to try and hit you, he's going to hit you unless you resist.
Okay. Yeah. Because like basically it's like, oh, he will give you a harm. Like it's like, oh, if he attacks you, it's not like he rolls and there's a chance he misses. It's like, no, he attacks you, he gives you the harm.
So what are consequences? So what's the consequence from her failed control roll? Is it like she's in a desperate position now? I'm not sure what's going on here.
Yes. So the position that makes sense. So the position is desperate now. For anything that
Is she taking harm? Is she losing an opportunity? I mean, have we lost the opportunity to like to reason with this guy?
I think we have lost. I think what we've lost here is the opportunity to reason with this guy.
Okay.
I also have to slide out. It's past 10 o'clock now.
Gotcha. Good night, Christian.
Bed.
Okay.
I gotta.
Okay. We'll probably come to a stopping point here pretty soon. I wanted to like at least resolve this part of the score.
And if y'all keep going, I just slink back into the distance.
Yes.
Get back to the ship.
So
Yeah.
we've lost what we've lost here is the opportunity to kind of like resolve this without some sort of physical altercation. This guy was operating under the assumption that you were going to meet him at this place, you were going to hand this off at this time. That did not happen. Things have only escalated from there. Whatever like weird cybernetics that he has are like starting to like short circuit slightly as the rain is increasing, so that opportunity has been lost. And like also I'm sort of like, this is the first time I've like run like a combat type scenario in this game, so like bear with me as we try and sort of like work through how all this works fictionally. So yes.
Well, it sounds like what we can do now is operate with like, now we can kind of like now we're kind of more, it's free flow, right? We're not taking turns. So
Yeah.
I think Bree, if you wanted to respond with combat here, because now it sounds like we're being prompted to take some new actions here, and then we can resolve whatever this guy does through those actions. So I have a plan. I was gonna basically just do what Cornfield was gonna do with my drone and take the attaché case, but we got to resolve this guy's combat.
I mean, I think you could you don't have to resist here. You could just choose not to, Fang. If you don't though, you would probably take at the least moderate damage.
Okay.
I think if it were anybody else in the party, it would be severe damage, but I think since it's you, it's moderate.
Is that
So we've lost the opportunity and she's taking harm.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a complete failure.
Okay.
And we weren't. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, if I roll to resist and I fail, am I
So,
worse off?
if you roll to resist, you can't fail. However, we'll be working down from 6 stress how much stress you take. So it worked out the last time that you rolled 2 sixes, so you didn't take any stress at all. But in most situations, we're going to be working down from 6 how much stress you take. So,
Sure.
And in this case, since you're rolling to resist, the harm that you're about to take is going to decrease. That's
Okay.
my understanding of how resistance rolls work. So
Okay.
we're going from like what, level 3? But what's the harm here, Teddy? What level are we looking at?
we're going from level 3 to level... Well, we'd be going from level 2 to level 1.
Okay.
If it were anybody else in the party, like if we were to swap out Polly in this situation, it would be from level 3 to level 2.
Bree, to take level 2 harm means you're going with like your status effect going on from there is like -1d.
Okay.
Taking level 1 harm is less effect.
Yeah, you can see on your character sheet where you mark harm. That's sort of, how you would track health otherwise. And then it tells you what what effects you incur for having that level of harm on your character.
And how do you fix that?
In your downtime.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to heal in the downtime.
Okay. Well, I think we're gonna be rolling for resistance then.
Okay.
You can also use armor. If you take a level 1 harm, you can expend an armor to just not take it at all. Or downgrade it, I believe.
Or in this situation, Fang, you could just go ahead and not choose to resist and just take the harm, right? And you would incur less stress, but you would know how much harm you're going to be taking, and you could mitigate that with whatever armor you have, if you have any. So you've got a lot of options here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is overwhelming.
Well, I've got armor,
Mhm.
so let's just not resist it.
Okay. So he's gonna go ahead and do level 2 harm. What armor do you have?
It just says armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Versus heavy armor is an option. Mine just says armor.
Okay.
It says it can take 1 hit.
That's
That's the short definition of it.
fine. So armor, let me just make sure that we're doing this right. PZ has a type of armor. Can mark an armor box to reduce or avoid consequence instead of rolling to resist. Okay, yep, so that's just gonna downgrade the level of damage that you take from the situation. So he goes in to punch you. It hits you right on the solar plexus. What kind of armor do you have that helps sort of like buff out this damage as the fist comes crashing right down on your chest?
I don't know what kind of futuristic kind of armor exists, but I'd like to imagine that it basically just redirects some of that force out across the armor. So I'm still taking the hit, and I'm still taking some of that force, but most of it is kind of
Dissipated.
Dispersed.
You know what
Yeah, some kinetic dampening.
Yeah. I was thinking like the freaking Black Panther armor. He's just like
Yeah, just like
Cool.
that.
except not stored.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool, yeah. We see you take the hit. You shoulder on through it. You're able to keep standing your ground. What do you do from there? He's still, it looks like he's sort of like shorting out. At this point, everybody else is on the scene. What's everybody else doing?
Can I? He is occupied, engaged with Fang right now. Hello, I'm standing right next to both of them. I'm a threat, so I'm gonna ghost him by pulling out my concealed pistol.
Oh shit. Okay, you're just gonna dome him right then and there?
With sleeper rounds. I don't want to kill this guy. So that's 2 items that I'll be using.
Okay, that makes
Out of
sense
my
to me.
light guard.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the situation is desperate.
Yes.
You're using those 2 items. Effect is going to be standard unless you would argue that those items are in particular, good enough to grant you great effect.
Are they fine?
Yeah, are they fine?
They are part of my my playbook. I will read them. It says concealed palm pistol. Sleeper round. One.
Okay, so you only get one. Okay, I'd say maybe, you only get one. We'll say that it's great effect, but we're rolling from a desperate position. So go ahead and roll your ghost. In this situation, you can always take plus 1d to push yourself.
I will push myself. That's one strain, right?
Yes, it's one more stress. Dang, you're clocking
One more
up the
stress.
You're clocking up the stress.
Stressful situations. Used to it. Fast lifestyle. Corpo exec. Let's do this. Let's roll. 2d6.
By the way, I forgot we have exoskeletons, so that we get heavy armor on top of our regular armor for free. But that's
Nice.
That is true. Yes. Rolling 2d6.
that's 6.
Okay, you tell me what happens.
It's so simple because we get that wide shot. It's like from the side of this man, punching or hitting a Fang in the chest, and then as they separate from the connection, you just see Polly pulling out a pistol, pointing it at him, and then almost dead quiet. It's a good thing there was no one nearby, and as it hits, it just like a pink mist wraps all around his entire head. He just breathes it in.
Okay, he just clocks down on the ground, just falls flat on the pavement. What do you all do? Who all is there? I mean, Ravel and Cornfield. Where are y'all right now? I imagine you roll up right on the scene, as this dude is hitting the concrete.
I think I just quietly walk up and grab the case.
Yep.
And then I turn around, and then I'm very quiet on the walk home. As I... Bye, guys.
I think the drone...
I do message... We do have to deliver that somewhere.
Yeah, I'll just getting it away from the guy in case he wakes up.
Yep.
Okay. Do we want to roll... do we want to go ahead and do the delivery of the item, or do we want to save that for next episode?
How long will it take?
I do want to move him out of the ring.
It'll be one. You're gonna have to do something with him. It'll be one more scene.
Let's do it.
Okay, if it's gonna be quick, yes.
Yeah.
Can we just... Do we need to do anything, or can we just dump this guy and move on? We got the case.
I think it's just the water that's an issue, so we just put him somewhere covered. He'll wake up and be like, well, they took it.
Okay. All right.
And hopefully that's the
Works for
end.
me.
Okay.
I don't know.
At the end of that, we won't run into him ever again.
No, never again.
Bedroom.
Okay, yeah. Where do you put him? What do you do with him?
I did ghost him, so he technically shouldn't know that he got shot in the head with a sleeper round. He just
he's
went
gonna
home.
he's gonna wake up.
Yeah, but he's not gonna know why he went to sleep.
We just move him somewhere dry and out of the rain.
The last
and
thing,
maybe...
the last thing that he's gonna remember is fighting Fang, and then all of a sudden everything goes black, and then he wakes up.
That's a win-win, I think.
That's a sucker punch right there.
Listen, I'm gonna you'll take a little bit less heat from this, since you did successfully ghost him. Nice fat 6 on the roll. But we'll see how that plays out.
Polly's kind of cold. It's like, all right, just bang. We done? Let's go.
All right, cool. So where do you put his body?
We just roll him somewhere dry.
There was a tunnel that he was heading toward, right?
I feel like the rain's gonna go down into that though.
You could put him in a building.
Or we could hide him in a tunnel.
There's a bunch of semi-abandoned apartment buildings around here.
Does it matter?
Somewhere covered, as long as he's not getting wet.
It doesn't really matter. Somebody might find him, but it doesn't particularly matter unless you want it to.
Should we try and hide him?
Yes, let's just drag him into a building and hide him.
Let's hide him. We'll hide him.
Let's cut to something more interesting.
Okay, cool.
Let's move on.
Okay, yep. So, you take the attaché case. Like I said before, it's small. It's maybe just a little bit bigger than Ravel's sort of like pad that he uses as like a hacking interface.
That'd be cornfield.
Oh, sorry, yes, cornfield. Than their hacking interface. It's a very sleek case. It has a bunch of locks on
Marcellus
it.
as Wallace's soul in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we open it?
It is locked. You could try and open it, but you probably hack into it. It's set with a pretty intense lock on it, and it's very dense.
I watched The Lockpicking Lawyer. I think I can figure this out.
What do you want? Okay, do you really want to try and get inside of it?
I'm kind of curious. I wanna see. Can I take a look at it and see if it's like trapped in any way? May I study? May I study it?
We're just right on back to opening mysterious boxes, aren't we?
Oh yeah, I want to
I
study
feel like
it.
we're doing
Get an
this
idea.
on the way, though.
We're
Yes,
nothing.
on the way.
Yeah.
I'd like to study it to get get an idea of what this like what could be in this thing and how secure it is.
Okay, your position is controlled. We'll say that your effect is standard.
Okay.
Actually, no. Your position is risky. We'll say your effect is standard. This thing probably has some measures in place that will set off some flags if it detects that it's being tampered with, right? It's got some security traps in place so that somebody's gonna know that you fucked with this if you don't do this carefully.
Okay. You know what? I'm good enough with that. I feel like if I know, like I've taken enough of a glance over it and maybe like poked at it with a little bit of tools, but like, okay, this thing is hot. If we
Sensitive,
fuck with this
yeah.
too much, it's gonna trip a flag somewhere. So, with that in mind, let's take it to Arthur.
Yeah,
I'm not good with names.
Yes. Do we know where Arthur is?
Yeah, so we'll say that it's
Yeah.
right. So it's like at that point where when Polly on your data pad on your little cyberpunk smartphone there, you get a ping from a one Arthur Campbell. He's uploaded all of his details to you. He sent you a text. He says, the text just says, "Got the goods already? Meet me, over by." He says to meet you by El Viejo. El Viejo is an old Spanish fort on the northern edge of the colonial part of the town, overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. That's where he wants to meet, and then he sends a ping of his he drops you a little pin of his location.
Yeah, I'm gonna set that into. How are we getting around?
Yeah, how are you
We
getting
walk-
around? That's a good question.
Do we
We have a
car?
little, yeah. Like, are there cars?
Yeah, there are cars in the city.
Are there? I think
very rich people have flying cars.
I doubt that we have a flying car.
No, you
We
don't.
have a flying vehicle,
You have a flying ship, but I don't know if you could fly
Not a
around
car.
the city.
not a car. I'm wondering if anything I have could.
Uh,
You could always take a cab everywhere.
That's true.
we don't really have those cool bikes. Maybe we have like a junker car,
Okay.
something like that.
Do you keep it on the ship? Is it like something that you could use on ops, or is it just like literally like a sedan?
Is it? Do we have? Could it be? Wait, no. That's a bike is a one-person thing. Never mind.
I think a van would be appropriate. Actually, we have some kind of like old beat up van, and maybe it was like a food truck. And like actually maybe I bought it for a song from my chop shop friend.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
I did like multiple favors for her in order to get this van. So now it's like this is my van. This is my roving workshop, and it's like
There you
kind of
go.
Is this
it's
like
not really
okay,
mechanically a workshop, but
I love this. Is this thing like a relic, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, is
Oh,
this
yeah.
is this something that like an enthusiast of like back when we had cars that ran on gasoline would be like,
Yes.
yo, that's a van, and everyone else
Yes.
is like, what the fuck is that? Why are you riding around in that piece of trash?
Just
yeah,
on the Odyssey.
I like it because this definitely seems like it would be Ravel's baby. Like it's like she talks fondly about it. Like this like she has like a weird fascination care for this thing. Like she treats it like better than she does her drone.
Okay, so you've
It's
named
just a
it.
Tesla Cybertruck.
I've absolutely named it. It's probably like all I can think of right now is like the Little Weekend or something like that. I need to come up with a real name,
his Girl Friday.
Short week.
it's the short week, something like that. We'll
Yeah.
we'll workshop that.
Yeah, we'll figure that out off screen. We'll have a writer's workshop on that one.
And the only reason this thing is even really functioning is because she has poured so much love and effort into it. Like,
Yeah.
like she has like rebuilt the engine from scraps over the course of several months.
Yeah.
And replaced everything. It's like it's the Argo. It's like, is this even a van from 60 years ago?
Fuck
That
yeah.
being said, Polly hates this van.
Oh, I love it. I love the like I'm like driving it. I'm like, yeah. You're like all upset in the back.
Polly's just.
Don't care. I just want to get this thing done.
Yeah, we get that as an interstitial shot. Everybody crowded into this van, Polly looking miserable, Ravels looking, so excited to be driving her van. We cut to the exterior of El Viejo. There's a lot of tourists around. There's kind of like a drive and courtyard like out on the outside. For tourist vans to go and park there. People can go and like park their cars. Actually, no. We cut to the parking lot that leads to like the old style plaza that then heads up to El Viejo. That's where like the tourist vans can go park, but everybody else, you got to go park in the very big and very crowded parking lot. We're in this parking lot. In the distance, we can maybe see like the silhouette of the old Spanish fort. Kind of overlooking the ocean. It's around, maybe it's close to like 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. It is solidly raining. Like, it is pouring rain now. It's pissing rain. We see the van parked next to a very, very nice, kind of like souped up, like lime green sports car. Standing, kind of like leaning against this futuristic cyberpunk lime green sports car, is a young man. He's got like very dark skin. He has hair that he has kind of like pulled back into cornrows. He looks a lot like his dad, just like more athletic. He's wearing like a very nice kind of designer suit. It's like a very like sharp like neon blue suit with like brown Italian leather loafers. He has a nice watch. He has like an augmentation that runs like along the side of his head and then connects to one of his eyes. You are all, he's come here to meet with you. This is Arthur. We'll cut past all of the introductions and whatnot, and we'll cut to Arthur saying who's got the thing and who's doing the handoff. Directly interacting with Polly.
Yes.
He's smoking like an e-cigarette, and he says, "So you got the thing?"
Yes.
All right, cool. Hand it over.
Yes. I hand it over. I assume this is the thing. Again, we weren't given too much information, but
he takes it. He does the Pulp Fiction thing. He takes his e-cig. He like turns it off. He puts it like inside of his coat pocket. He like undoes like some like digital mechanical lock thing on the case. Flips it open, looks inside, he sort of scratches his chin, he goes, huh. Closes it, and then, goes over, his car kind of like remotely opens, like the door sort of like slides open, vertically. He puts it inside, he rummages around inside of his car, and he comes back with sort of like a cybernetic shard, and he hands it to you, Polly. He says, "Okay, you guys are good. That's gonna get you into the WEH, like my dad said."
fantastic.
Ow.
Just out of the sake of professional curiosity.
Ow? I'm sorry?
Just for the sake of professional curiosity, what did we bring you?
Okay, well, first things first, what do you mean, how? and he's sort of.
How does it
looking-
get
he's-
us through?
No, I'm sorry. I think I might have gotten cut off. She said she was just saying
No,
like,
you know,
oh,
but he's dealing with Ravel asked her question first.
sorry, go ahead.
He says, here, one sec.
I have like a very Aubrey Plaza from Parks and Rec kind of deadpan look from like the back of the group. How?
Okay. He says, what? Listen, what do you mean? How? I don't know how that thing's work. How that thing works. It gets you into the airspace. It's gonna, you know, set off the triggers or whatever. I don't know that stuff.
I have an assumption. Can you tell me if it's correct about how this device works?
Yeah, go ahead.
The shard.
Mhm.
It's something that you slot into the plane, and the plane will have the clearances.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As the owner of the plane, I know what this is.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, it's a key card basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
Good to know that this guy's response. I liked knowing his response though. That's good.
And then what did you say, Polly? What did you ask him?
Just, thank you, and just out of the sake of professional curiosity, what did we bring to you?
You don't have to know that.
Oh, I know I don't have to. I'm just asking.
Well,
You can say no. You can say no. I'm just.
listen, I haven't seen your face around town much. What was your name again? Polly... what?
So when he says he hasn't seen my face around town, is that a lie?
Yeah, he's bluffing. He knows who you are.
You know exactly who I am.
Okay.
And she's just smiling at him.
Listen, look, I don't even, it looks fine to me. My sister's probably gonna do something with it. I don't really know. Something.
Something. Well, hopefully whatever that thing is in the future will benefit us both. She puts a hand out to shake.
He looks at you, and then he looks at your two companions that are like, I imagine you look, you're a socialite,
Yeah.
you're very nicely dressed. You look like you fit in with him, and then he looks over at Fang and Ravel, these two sort of like scuzzy looking degenerates. And he looks back
Very
at
hot,
you.
scuzzy looking degenerates.
True.
Though. Very
Okay,
hot.
okay.
True.
Yeah, fair. And,
Can this be
he,
like a networking role? Can I make friends with this guy?
You know what? Yeah, why not?
Sweet.
Your position is risky, your effect is standard.
I'll take it. Could I argue that my effect would be greater because I have an advantage over him because my eyes. He tried bluffing at me. I called his bluff.
You know what? Actually, yeah, I'll go ahead and say that that's greater. I think he would probably see that as, a sign of respect. He can't fuck with you.
Corpo recognized corpo. Not exactly, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's not a corpo, but I get you. He's got the
Yeah,
corporate. He's got the grind set.
Yeah. He's got the style going on for sure. Green sports car, blue neon suit, and that's just gonna be 2d6 because I have 2 in network.
Okay, and you got a 6. All right, cool. He looks at you. He kind of gives you a kind of a sly smile. He sticks his hand out, shakes it, and says, "Yeah, you know what? All right, I think you're all right. And I look forward to working with you guys again real soon."
Absolutely. I mean, from the way it sounds, your dad is friends with our pilot, so why can't we be friends?
Yeah, sure, we can be friends or whatever.
All right,
Listen,
well-
I'll call you sometime.
We'll be looking forward to it, Arthur.
Of course. Oh, hey, listen, I forgot to mention, our guy Daisuke, he's gonna show up to your ship here in about a day's time after you go and you grab the jewels from the WEH, so make sure you pay that.
I
Pick up the cut.
pick up his
You
cup.
got it.
All right.
And if that'll be it, ciao. And he turns back around, gets inside of his car, and then goes to drive off. What's the last thing we see?
I think
I don't
we'll
like
be-
that fucking punk.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh no, he's so scummy.
He's
But-
slime.
As the scene
Like,
has
my
been
friend.
as the scene has been going on, the wind has been progressively getting more and more violent, and then as you guys are having this conversation, a dead seagull slams into the van carried by one of the winds.
I didn't kill that one.
And then we'll end there. Okay, cool.
Great.
Sweet.
Sweet.
All right, cool.
That full circle.
Good
Close that
for-
off.
I know, yeah, we did go full circle. I didn't even realize that.
Love it.
Okay, sweet, cool. Good deal,
Awesome.
everybody.
Yay.
Hooray!
Ooh. That was
Alright.
good.
All right, cool. So we'll probably play the next session next week. I'm gonna stop the recording now.
Is this
Have you ever sat and waited for your friends? Just sitting here, killing time, waiting, just dead air.
So
Don't
you
worry
always have
about
something
it.
for something, don't you?